Hey everyone, my name is Reeves, and this is Reeves Point of View.
Tony Reeves, fire. Following the news in any way, shape, or form. No shortage of things.
There is going to probably be a point in time when you may not realize it, but you probably need a CPA to handle your funds.
Tony Reeves, fire. Tony Reeves. Let's go ahead and get started.
Now, I'm not trying to say that you should abandon any of these tax preparer companies. That's not what I'm advocating. What I am saying is this: at some particular point, you may be in a position, more so than you realize, that having a certified public accountant who actually is intimately familiar with all of the nuances of your finances is probably beneficial to you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, how will I know that? Well, stop and ask yourself this question. Don't just focus on your revenue stream. Don't just say, well, I go to job, I get paid, they take out the taxes, it's all well and good. I said, okay. Start going down the line of all of the assets that may play a part. Why am I telling you all these things? Because if you have an accountant, they can tell you what's changed and what hasn't. They can tell you what's being updated and what isn't. And I know that sounds kind of convoluted and frustrating, but the harsh reality is that if you don't think about those things like this, you'll find yourself finding when you're filling out your taxes that you get into these weird financial fixes because you didn't take into account certain things. Why don't you reach out to one? Just reach out. If you don't know, ask a CPA, tell them your circumstances and see, hey, is my situation one where I should think about it? Think about little things. You don't even realize it. You bought a car, you sold a car, you got a windfall in terms of the money. Did you pay any taxes on that windfall? You don't want to be in one of those weird situations where stuff like that pops up later and you're like, crap, I wish I would have known that. So what I often encourage people to do is contact a CPA, ask the question and say, I want to ask you a few questions to determine whether or not I should use a CPA. Ask because you need to know, because you don't want to be in a situation where several years from now, based on some filings that you filed and now based on your representation of something different later, you now find yourself in a position where you should have informed the IRS or the state about certain assets and things that you had, but you didn't think you had to at the time because no one told you. What I'm saying is having someone dedicated to looking at just your finances and your assets and all of the moving parts, because let me be clear, you have more moving parts than you realize. So when you find yourself in a situation where you have all these moving parts, you want somebody who's going to take a look at all of them and provide you some critical information about what those things mean to you, and more importantly, how those things could be beneficial to you in the longer term. Because trust me, if you found out later that you paid more taxes than you should have, you're going to want to know that. If you found out later that you didn't pay enough and now all of a sudden, boom, there's this tax lien, no one wants that level of surprise. So why put yourself in that position? Again, there's nothing wrong with taking the time to ask those questions. So by all means, please take the opportunity, check it out, and by all means, see what that means for you in the long run.